I'm old enough now where, I was the Huynh Trưởng when these kids were in.
Appreciate you guys do this for the younger Huynh Trưởng, like giving a lot of good information for them.
I wasn't really a good DE student back then. I would say I repeated Gesika Mo 3 times.
Even as Đoàn Trưởng, I'm learning to see how people work and adapt to that.
Before every shift, I always pray to God that He will help me to take the best care of my patients.
Yeah.
And then at the end of every shift, I thank Him too for letting me be able to provide that care.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the HT Show podcast. We have a new wonderful guest today, and this is Trưởng Viên. Her name's Trưởng Kiên, and this is Trưởng.
Tommy, guys. Hello, guys. I am Jung Tommy. I am in the military, the Navy specifically, but I do not represent them in any way.
Fantastic. I'm glad you got that out.
Yeah.
So
That's the most important part.
Yes, so we can speak freely about things. So before we start, you want to take a little...
Oh, well, I guess I'm
Well,
going
I guess-
Tommy got
got thirsty.
Oh,
Cheers.
oh, nice.
So let me ask, Tommy, you came to us last year. You showed up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Apparently, you showed up a week when we weren't there. And then what happened?
Okay, so they're kind of like, oh, who is this person? I guess we'll send you to a class. We'll send you to the Hipsies for now. But they didn't know my age at the time, so I don't think they were supposed to send me to the Hipsies. But, it was very welcoming, coming in to TNTT, always comes in as a family. So coming into it, it's like, get the ball rolling immediately. So it's, before you guys did any ID checks or anything, just welcome them in, just let them try it out. I guess.
And to be clear, I did do a background check afterwards. And actually, tell us where you're from. Which Don are you from?
I'm from Tantam, Memphis, Tennessee. I grew up there, became a Huynh Trưởng there, and now I'm here in Seattle or Tacoma, Washington.
Nice. Yeah, so, as a Đoàn Trưởng, I had to do a check on him. At least I contacted his old Đoàn Trưởng to see, hey, is this guy legit or not? Or some random stranger that just put on the scarf.
I didn't even know they did that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I had
Sounds like a real job.
Yeah.
A resume, a job, everything.
It's a reference check.
Yeah, it's a reference check. Well, I appreciate that you came back because I know when you first came, I felt kind of bad because you came for half an hour or something and the Thiếu Nhi ended or something like that. So you got a taste of maybe a few people talking to you. And I was like, this guy might not come back next year, right? Because he barely got to know anyone.
Yeah.
Build any relationship.
No, I mean,
but you straight came back, so I really appreciate that.
Thiếu always been my life. My siblings, my brothers are Huynh Trưởng, and my sister's a Huynh Trưởng, and my other brother, he grew up to be a Hipsi Juntan. He couldn't finish the girl, but he went to Kamop 3 times.
Are you gonna send this podcast to your siblings so they can see?
Probably.
Nice.
And my sister-in-law's also a Huynh Trưởng too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you can be their inspiration.
Yes.
I assume they're older, or
they can be on a podcast too.
Yeah, that'd be good. We always need new guests.
Right.
So how long have you been a Huynh Trưởng? Because you, in the military, you move around a lot.
Yeah.
Right? So
maybe for 1 year now, actually. I just got promoted. It was fresh off. When I first joined you guys, it was my 4th or 5th month being a Huynh Trưởng. But
nice.
what I did was I went to Kamop before I went to the military. And then I came back to my Doan camp. And that's when everyone else was getting promoted during an August camp, our summer camp, our animal.
So did you join the military right after high school then?
Yeah, after high school. Yeah, I signed up in my junior year, and I went through a before you join program to train you to be in the military, and I shipped off in August 9.
as a Đoàn Trưởng, how do you feel if you have a new Huynh Trưởng that you put in all that work all these years, and they become Huynh Trưởng, and now they leave? Do you ever feel bad about that?
The funny thing is, us being here in Tacoma, Washington, we have a very large military presence with a couple of bases around here, Joint Base Lewis McChord. We have the one up in Bremerton, in Bangor. So we have quite a few military Huynh Trưởng who are coming and going. And even our editor is in the military, And so,
so we're getting all of it.
So we actually get the benefit of it.
The government resources.
So and actually, they're not the first ones either. Over the lifespan of our Dawn, we had quite a few military guys coming and going, and we always welcome them.
Đoàn THD supported by the military, apparently. So in this 1 year of becoming a Huynh Trưởng, you taught mainly, which gang do you teach?
Ngan Thiếu.
Ngan Thiếu.
And I love them to death. They're the kids that will always, they're like the stepping stones to become like the new future leaders. And I feel like when you're going into Thiếu Nhi, I think Thiếu Nhi or Ngan Thiếu was the one that like highlighted my definition of being a Huynh Trưởng in the first place. It was a good experience actually. I love my teacher. His name was Tony. That man was absolutely a phenomenal teacher.
And you were Ngan Thiếu, and,
Ngan Thiếu?
and it affected you like that.
Yeah, because it was like he had a connection to me and like connection to my family. He's like ever since my brother married my sister-in-law, our families have always just been connected. So that's probably why.
Nice.
Did you have a small đoàn that when you were in Ngan Thiếu? Was it a smaller đoàn or was it a big đoàn?
It was really small compared to the ones that you guys have now.
Yeah.
You guys have about like 25 Ngan Thiếu. Ours was like maybe less than 10.
Okay. So I can see how that Huynh Trưởng connected you deeply because there's only
It's like
10 kids.
one-on-one kind of situation.
Did you find it kind of difficult now because you have 20 kids now? How do you be Trưởng Tony? Would it be very difficult, right? Having 20 kids?
Well, you always gotta think about like how would they feel if you were a bad teacher. So I feel like when it comes to the teaching stepping stone, you gotta learn how to interact with them appropriately, one for sure.
Yeah.
And two, it's like how can you affect their lives by being in Thiếu Nhi? Most of the time, some teachers in other doans I've met are pretty bad. But you have to think like them. You have to think like why they do it in the first place or what makes them want to come. Because as a Ngan Thiếu, most of the time, like when you join, it's just because your parents make you. But you have to make it enjoyable for them to want to go.
Yeah.
You know, the surprising thing is you actually like Ngan Thiếu because a lot of Huynh Trưởng don't like teaching Ngan Thiếu.
Yeah.
They're the most awkward stage in their life.
I didn't think about what he said because if kids push you to join Thiếu Nhi, your parents teach you as an Ô Nhi, most of the time it's just fun stuff, right? So likely the Ô Nhi will just be happy, right? But Ngan Thiếu is the age where you're like, whoa, I don't want to go anywhere. And potentially they tell their parents enough that they don't want to go and they don't come back. And the parents are like, fine, you don't want to go, right? I always thought it would be Ngan Thiếu would be the first one, but you're right. Ngan Thiếu is the first one where they want to back out. So if we lose a lot of kids in the future, it's the Ngan Thiếu because normally they would blame my Ngan, but I'm glad we have someone to blame.
Tommy, yes.
We have a bunch of kids. So I assume when you were as like a student, Thiếu Nhi student, was it Ngan Thiếu that is the most memorable for you, or was it a different Ngan?
Probably Ngan Nghé. For me, that's when I started taking more of a leadership role.
Okay.
That's why. Yeah. But teaching Ngan Thiếu was like kind of like before like the stepping stone to becoming a leader. It's like kind of you just step back for a little bit and observe and learn from there. And learning has always been like a constant thing for me too. I learned how to tie knots and do Morse code and all the ngans and the songs and stuff like that by being a Ngan Thiếu.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No, and also, Tommy joined us for our Dawn camp the first time and our during the fall camp this past year. You know, and he did an amazing job as Huynh Trưởng as well in all the Sinhar games. I think a lot of people were very surprised by that because you're somebody brand new coming in here and we didn't expect that, and that was awesome.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed out on that, to be honest, but I heard amazing things too, so lots of laughs, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of like, I took what I learned from my doan, because I've actually like studied, or like not studied, but experienced or like learned a lot from it. That's where the learning part comes in. And I took what came from what enjoyed for me as a kid and what made me want to stay and teach like the younger Ngan. And I just implemented it to the kids that were going to during their fall camp.
So when you did the first camp with us, barely kind of knowing us, and you did one of the bigger parts, right? And Singhak. Which big deal because you're in front and people judge you, right? Did you feel a lot of pressure because you didn't really know the Huynh Trưởng that much? You're completely new, right? Did you feel a lot of pressure being in that role, or were you like, especially as being a new Huynh Trưởng too,
Well, to me, it's more of like, I think about what the Huynh Trưởng would think too. It's like they do it. Everything in Thiếu Nhi that I do it for is for the younger Ngan, the kids. So when I'm thinking about the games that I'm setting up, it's like how would the kids react? And most of the time, when it's like nervousness, you would think about how the older Huynh Trưởng would feel about you. But they're thinking the same as you, where it's like you have to just go for entertainment for the kids and just help them learn what it's all about.
That's actually really good advice because I think especially it doesn't have to be in Thiếu Nhi, but anywhere, right? Like even public speaking, you're so nervous about what everyone thinks.
Yeah.
But you gotta refocus yourself in saying, why am I here in public speaking to people?
Yeah.
It's for to teach something.
Yeah.
It's for the audience, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what they think of me. It's more so what I'm teaching them. I think that's a great way for new Huynh Trưởng to refocus and not feel the pressure, because the more we worry about what other Huynh Trưởng thinks, we're gonna act differently.
Yep.
And it might not come out correctly or appropriately with the kids. So that's a great way to refocus for new Huynh Trưởng, to focus on the kids. Really good advice.
And there's two sides to it too. Like you can have your Huynh Trưởng personality where you're super strict or you teach them and that, and that's okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there's a side where you have to realize that they're kids too. Like they're kids. They might not understand that as well, and you just have to be patient with them. And patience is a lot of things coming from not only Thiếu Nhi, but in the military also.
Nice.
So let's go take that back. Can you tell us a little bit of why you joined the military and which branch?
The Navy specifically, because I have a Huynh Trưởng friend, right? He's in the military and he joined Ardoan, and he taught us so much about like what Thiếu Nhi is all about and how to run Thiếu Nhi, and that was our core value for a while. And not only that, he also ran our lion dance team.
Okay.
That's why I joined in the first place. He was different job than me, but very inspirational to why I joined the military.
It's crazy how a big effect Thiếu Nhi can have
Absolutely.
on a lot of us, right?
Yeah.
But you said he was a Huynh Trưởng too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He came in as a Hip Juntan and he got promoted at our Doan.
So you joined right after high school.
Yeah.
That's what. So it was like your first choice. You didn't even think about college or anything like that. It was like, hey, this is a step I want to take.
Well, for my junior year, I did sign up for college. I got accepted into a few with like a full ride.
Oh, wow.
It was just like the ones that I wanted
Full
to go out
ride?
of, yeah, the ones that I wanted to go out of state.
Nice.
It just wasn't accepting, or they were accepting me, but I just didn't have the money to pay for it all.
Right.
And I was like, I want to better off my future. But now that I'm looking at like the job market, it's more of like they're looking for more of experience. And I feel like the military can give you so much, a wide variety of experience. And what my brother told me, my oldest brother told me, is like they look for, our military has priority because they have the experience and the discipline to show up on time, to show up to do the job, and know what to do when you're doing the job.
Yeah. I think a lot of, especially coming out of high school, I see it's tough to, as high school kids, to have discipline, for sure. Lots of high school kids, right? Maybe some adults even still don't have it, right? To be strict, to be on time. This is your job. Don't show up late. Don't show up drunk.
Right.
That kind of thing, right? And the military really does help with that because they make it a really big deal on being, you have to be, as an active duty in the military, you have to make sure you don't get any DWIs. You gotta make sure you do the appropriate things, right?
Yeah.
You wanna make sure you do you're the right person for the job. You always wanna be ready to protect your country. And I think straight from high school, if you don't have that guidance,
That's
right?
hard.
If you go straight to college, sometimes college has become a party thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But you go to the military, it can potentially give you the structure and the focus that you need.
We have a lot of a few kids in our Don right now who is about to graduate high school, and they're also considering the military. Do you have any tips or advice for them, or like would you actually even recommend it?
For my kids personally, like if I in the future when I do have kids, I personally wouldn't recommend it. But it all just depends on like how you view your parents. For me, the reason why I joined in the first place is I didn't want to disappoint my parents. I always had like this high view of my parents as like my leadership, and I didn't want to ever disappoint my parents in any way possible. So me going out of college or coming out of high school, I didn't know what I was going to do in life, and joining the military was like the best way to make them proud. So it all just depends on your goals in the military. It's like your goal should be do what your heart desires. And my desire was to always make my parents proud. And I promised that since I was like a little kid. And I can't tell you, like they've been proud of me ever since. Like, ever since then.
So do you like, in terms of the military and what you do you like to be deployed, or do you like to stay around here? Or
Okay. Deployment is like you work really long hours on a ship, especially in the Navy. It's probably like maybe like 12 hours a day.
wow,
It's pretty rough, but I would rather just stay on land because the hours can be flexible.
Right.
Just depends on how much or how fast you get the job done. Military is a little weird for that, to be honest with you. I gotta say that sometimes it's better to take the deployment when you're new, but when you're old, you should probably just stay on the land side.
Because you have family and things like that.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
And if we deploy, you're not going to be able to go to Thiếu Nhi or anything. You're not gonna-
Of course. That's why I'm like, I'm so scared for when that time comes because then, like, I might have to leave.
Right.
I have to go.
Right.
So if he's gone, you know why.
Yeah, I know why now. Yeah,
No
goes
reason.
silent on us.
It's
I know
just-
why. Yep. And it happens. And we've had, like I said, we've had a lot of military Huynh Trưởng here going in and out, and sometimes we never see them again.
Okay, you can't give him any big responsibilities. He can just disappear like that. So,
Yeah.
you've been in there for how many years now?
Almost 2 years now.
Okay.
It's definitely a stepping curve because the first year was mostly school.
Oh,
So when
okay.
I joined you guys, it was like I'm fresh out of school. I just went to the ship, and I'm just like new to the ship and everything. Like everyone calls me like useless because I'm just new because I don't know anything about the ship, but I know about kind of like sort of like the basics of the job and what I'm supposed to do. So it's a little different for school because it's 9 months for me. Other schools are different depending on your job. It's 9 months, and another school, but my second school was 3 months in Virginia.
Is that on top of your basic training?
Yeah. So basic training was 2 months, I want to say. It was like 10 weeks. And I went to school right across the street from where basic training was. It's pretty bad, but I went there for 9 months. Yeah, and that's where the Virginia part comes in. for
Did
my
you
middle
get
school.
to decide what school you go into? Like, do you get to pick, or do you have to pick out like 5 choices and they'll pick for you?
That depends too, because that's mostly prioritized for your ship destination. But my choice was I got to pick the job, I got to pick what I'd be or what system I'd work on, and I got to pick what school I'd go to too. I mean, what ship I go to at the end of the day.
Gotcha. But sometimes you say people might not be able to get what they want to do.
Yeah, so some people put like so there's a dream sheet called there's a thing on the Navy website called a dream sheet.
Yeah.
So you put the location, the priority of it, and what job you would want in there. And you would rank it from 1 to 5 on each category, and you can only pick like 5 on priority, and the next one you can't pick 5 anymore. So you can have to pick the rest. Most people pick Japan, but my thing was a little different. I had like a entire list of orders where we were ranking it from number 1 in the class to the bottom of the class, and we pick in that order. So when I was picking, to be honest with you, I wasn't supposed to be here.
Oh yeah.
I kind of picked Japan, Yakuza Japan,
Yeah.
but my ship transferred over to here.
Well, lucky us,
Yeah,
I guess.
lucky us.
Half of Japan, but lucky us.
Yeah, it's okay though, because I still love the stateside. So.
Every day you go to work, is it pretty structured? Because you're not always on a ship all the time, right? Right now, you're not. Obviously, you're not.
Yeah,
You're not on
yeah.
a ship, right? So when you go to work, you're probably going to a base or something like that. But you can't really practice on the missile system if
Yeah.
you're on ground. So what do you normally do then if you're not on the ship? You know what I mean?
Typically, when we're in like it's called a dry dock phase, our missiles will come out of the ship.
Oh,
So they would try to fix it up, repaint it, work on the ship some more. So I haven't really worked on my missile launcher recently, but when it comes back, that's what I'll do. But recently, I've been doing more of they call it pres work, which is like president's work, or you would just paint the ship, or you just like fix like any. It's kind of like construction work,
Yeah.
and just
okay.
construction on the ship the entire time.
is it pretty regimented? Like you have to be there at a specific time.
Yeah.
You check in with your chief and
Yeah.
everything. You have to, and then your chief is like, "Where is this guy?"
Yeah,
Kind
so
of thing.
so my chief loves me, but
Yeah.
military.
And can you explain what a chief is? Sorry.
Oh, chief is a E7 in the military. I'm an E4. I'm a petty officer 3rd class or a fire controlman 3rd class. But in the military, they're really strict all the time. Like sometimes you can either show up. Most of the time, they'll tell you to show up 5 minutes early, but you cannot show up 5 minutes late.
Yeah.
Because they will track you down. Like let's say if you were oversleeping, they'll find where you are and they'll bang on your door. Because that happened to me a few times. I got chewed out for that.
Yeah.
I wish we can do that in Thiếu Nhi. Yeah. Instead of people coming late all the time.
I wish we can do that in real life.
Actually.
Actually, yeah, he was late for the podcast today.
You should have been. We should get his chief to call him. Right.
So you mentioned do you ranking, and so first of all, do you live on base, or do you live out off campus, off housing?
Yeah, so currently the ship is inhabitable because they're doing construction work on it. They're trying to fix all the places where people sleep. So I live in the barracks, like maybe like a 15-minute walk away from there.
Oh, not bad.
So I live really close. So that's how they're able to, like, you know, call me. If I don't pick up, they'll find me. They'll find my room and knock on my door.
And can you explain some of the other benefits that you have for being in there?
Oh, like healthcare, dental, eye care. I got my glasses right now. These are new glasses. They're for free.
And they're all paid. Everything is paid for, right? No copay. Copay is what you. For people with normal insurance, you still have to pay copay, meaning like you pay your insurance, but when you go to a doctor, you still have to pay like $25 or $100
Welcome
based
to
on your
adulting.
visit. Yeah, but you don't have to pay anything because they're supposed to take care of you the whole way.
Yeah.
And your housing too, right?
Yeah, the housing is free in the barracks.
Food. Yep.
Food is okay for dry dock people. They would give us a certain amount that's called BAS, which is like basic allowance of I forgot what the last S was. Maybe like service, but it was like money for like groceries and basic like groceries and stuff for food. Because obviously the ship's down, so nobody's cooking anything right now.
Are you sharing a place with anyone?
Currently, I don't have a I don't have a roommate, but I have roommates on the other side. We have a kitchen and a large fridge, so we just share that living room space. And my room is on a lock side, and their room is on a lock side too.
Do you find that to be a little difficult?
Not really. My roommates are really like relaxed with me. I don't really bother them. That's why, because more of like I do what I need to do. But if they have a favor, I'll always help them.
I think back like he's at the age when like we were in college back then.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
we were drumming. It was fine.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter. Right?
Yeah, it was fun. Actually, it was fun back then, being in that kind of close quarter with other people your age and stuff like that. Right?
So you're kind of getting a college experience to suffer a more regiment.
Yeah, right.
Like probably a better college experience in regards to like skill learning.
Yeah.
And actually becoming responsible.
Yeah. So in the military, I feel like people don't think like, oh, it has nothing to do with like college or the way that college. You don't get the whole college experience, but I can't lie to you guys. When I was going through military, it's exactly like college. It's like where you go to school, and sometimes you come home and there's a party like down the street or like down the block.
Yeah.
I met people that went to like house parties and all that stuff. And other people's houses. And drinking opportunities are always there in the military.
Yeah, you just have to be safe about it, not drink and drive, right? Which is even better than most car experience because no one's there to protect you from yourself, right? But I know when it comes to Navy or military or anything, your chief is, at least at my hospital, they always say stuff like, you know, you guys are welcome to go out, enjoy yourself. You're young, but if you need a ride, like call me. And you don't have a ride, call me.
That's
you don't get that kind of stuff. At college, right?
No one's watching over you.
Yeah, you take an Uber or something, or like when you're drunk, you're like, oh, I'll be fine, but you're not. You're not fine. Yeah. So that's actually really good. Good to have that.
So yeah, people treat each other like family in the military. It kind of relates to the whole treating you like family. I know that if something goes wrong, I always have somebody to rely on.
Nice. And then can you explain the pay scale too? Because you mentioned it a little bit. You're at E4, you said.
So E4. Okay, so from E1 to E4, okay, so E1 gets around maybe like 700 to 800, and then to E4, it will just increase by like 100. E5 is a little
800 like a week, a month? Or
800 like bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly.
Okay.
So they get like, and each rank you rank up, it will just increase to like $100 more.
Yeah. And of course, you have all of your allowances and everything paid for.
So food and like housing is all paid for. The 800 is just for you to spend on yourself.
Yeah.
When you're E5, however, on my ship, it's a little different for other ships too. But for E5, for me, it's when you can have BAH, which is basic allowance in housing. So you can have your own apartment outside of the barracks that you live in. So instead of them taking money from you to live in the barracks, they will give you back that money that they pay for you, and you can get your own apartment somewhere else.
So before then, you have to stay in the barracks because there's no other place that you can go.
There's really no other place.
Unless you use your $800 yourself, right? Which would be a huge cut, right? And especially if you're like docked at, you know, San Diego or something like that,
would be really
where it'd be like
Very
that
expensive.
$800 would not be enough.
And the BAH like kind of varies depending on where you live. Like remember how you said San Diego? It can vary from that. Like San Diego could be 3,000, but somewhere like Idaho can be like 1.5.
Right.
Gotcha. But you had to get to that specific rank for them to actually give you that.
Yeah, that's how it is for my ship.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, okay. So it's not for every ship then, potentially.
Yeah,
So it can vary widely.
Yeah, some ships give it to E4s if they've been on the ship for 3 years.
Oh,
That's what I heard.
okay.
That's what I learned before. But my ship is
gotcha.
specifically for E5. That's how most of them are too.
Oh, okay.
And then, so right now you said you're private. No, sorry, your first. So what's rank again?
E4, which
Yeah.
is a petty
Petty
officer third class.
And then from here, what's your next goal? Your next step?
So I took a test in September to get petty officer second class, but the ranking's kind of like different because you have to take a test, and the test is like a wide range of like everyone in my job in the Navy. So not only just like the specific job itself on the system, but just everyone in the same category job. And they're kind of chosen for that too. So it's not like
Right.
So you can hit a certain amount on the test, but if somebody has like much higher than you, they'd probably choose the one higher than you.
Right.
Yeah. And they have to, I assume it's just like it's very difficult because I assume there's a lot of people who want to rank up.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's an actual promotion, getting paid more, and potentially
work.
getting a housing,
Yeah.
getting a housing allowance so you can actually go outside and live.
Yeah.
So I assume it's very competitive.
Yeah.
And even if you have a high score, they probably base it on what you do at work
Yeah.
and the kind of extracurricular stuff that you do to prove yourself. So
it also bases off of it's called an eval or evaluation. So it splits off into the test and the evaluation. So if you didn't hit a certain landmark on a test, then your evaluation can give you enough points to get you across that line for you to be able to promote.
Yeah. So do you like this kind of regimental life? Because I know you probably have experience like our lives,
Right.
because we never got into the military. So we don't know having that kind of regimental, very specific parameters on how to like go up a level. Because for us, like if we want to get promoted, we either find a different job at a different company,
Right.
the same company, or if we have enough gumption, we go up to a boss and say, "Hey, I want to get paid
Promote me."
more.
Yeah.
Promote more. What do I need to do
Yeah.
to get promoted?"
Well, okay, I told this to a lot of people who they asked me if I like the military.
Yeah.
Well, the best way to describe it in the military, it's like Stockholm syndrome. It's like you got kidnapped into the job.
No.
But, like when you get paid, like it's a different
Yeah.
story. Like you
Right.
become happy and stuff. So I'm like, I hate this job, and then when that payday comes, I'm like, you know what? It's
okay.
not bad. Maybe my job's a little easy. Like, right.
I'll be honest.
But what you do.
That sounds like
Yeah.
our job. That sounds like everyone else. Then
Yeah.
there's no huge difference between the military
Yeah.
and
Who really
normal.
loves the job, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's very rare for someone to like extremely love their job. Like I mentioned before, even if you have a job you love, if you do it for 10 years, you're gonna get tired of it. It's human nature to get tired of things, right? But once we get that paycheck, we get a slight reminder.
Yeah.
So honestly, the military isn't, in regards to normal civilian life, it's not that big of a huge big of a difference, right? Except for this, they do provide security and guidance for someone who is very young, straight out from high school, is what I see. Yeah, that's such a big bonus, because people can go after high school with people you hang out with. In college, that can dictate a lot about what happens.
See what direction your life.
We talk about how your life will be affected by the 5 people you hang around. And those 5 people from college might potentially you hang around even further than that.
Yeah.
So if you surround yourself with the same regiment of people working towards the same goal, I can definitely see why parents would want their kids to go into military, right?
Yeah. But I mean, there's that, but I don't think a lot of parents see that part of it. They
true.
just think that military is something kind of like a last resort kind of thing.
Yeah,
last
or
thing,
like,
last
no,
choice.
I don't want my son to die, my
yeah.
daughter to die,
Right.
or anything
Right.
like that, right? I didn't even think about that.
Do you think how do you feel about the other branches? Like, if you think if one might be more dangerous than the other, or do you feel like?
Or do you just hate them because they're not your brand?
No bias, but some branches are more dangerous than others, and I respect them for that.
Yeah.
I respect all the branches.
Sure.
Personally, for me, it kind of ranks from like, this is the best from worst tier list here.
Sure.
So it goes Air Force,
Yeah.
and then Navy, Army, and then Marines.
Yeah. That's why here too, apparently.
Well,
Yeah.
Air Force is probably the best one to go. I just
Best as in like the most chill or like the most laid back.
probably laid back,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Okay.
And there's other branches like the Space Force. and there's a Coast Guard. I don't even consider them as the.
Yeah.
No, you maybe a few years they'll be the biggest branch, right? Space Force,
no,
they
probably not.
When we get to Mars or something, right?
You know, like
It might
10,
be
20 years.
the biggest branch. So I think you kind of mentioned it already, especially with the Huynh Trưởng that affected you a lot. But it seems you feel like military life has kind of helped you become a better Huynh Trưởng or kind of shape who you are as a Huynh Trưởng.
So when I was becoming a Huynh Trưởng, I stopped doing it just for me. I stopped caring about only just me, and I started taking a better outlook in why I became it in the first place. That's why I was asked by my Duan Trưởng. He was like, "Why do you want to do it?" At first, I gave him the response like, I just want to, because it was always like I've been in TNTT for years, and I want to be a Huynh Trưởng because I think I deserve it. But taking a step back in the military, especially because you have to always work as a team in the military. Instead of using the word "I" a lot, I started using the word "How would they feel?" or "How would somebody else feel if I was a Huynh Trưởng?" and who would want to learn the things that I was taught when I was a Huynh Trưởng too. It definitely comes from, and those questions also kind of relate to why do you want to join the military? It's like instead of thinking about you, you gotta think about the people around you too. Obviously, when I joined, it was really sad for them. But at the end of the day, it's like, how did they feel when I joined? And most of the time, it would be like they were proud. So it really did affect my original stance of why I joined in the first place.
Yeah. Is it started? Did you start?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Were you finished with your thought on that? Okay, good. Just making sure. Oh, great. Yeah.
I don't know if we got cut off in there.
I think we're good.
Yeah, I don't think we need to report. Yeah, just so everybody knows, just in case we don't cut this out, we had some technical difficulties, but we're back. And during Tommy, hopefully we didn't cut off the part about during Tommy saying the similarities between Thiếu Nhi and being in military service and how people are proud of you. And if you focus on why are you joining this organization, I think that's the way to go. And it kind of comes back to during Tommy saying any kind of presentation, any kind of things when you're in front of people, focus on why are you here. Don't think about yourself too much. I think it was Drake that says, like, don't get into your feels too much, your feelings too much, because then you're just gonna freeze on stage.
So let me ask you this. I think we skipped over this very early on, but how did you come about finding Ardon as a Huynh Trưởng and as a person in the military who's traveling around?
Well, I always look for the closest to the land, and I always look for their ideology. So I look for the About Us.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, so their About Us page is like, they're like...
We didn't have one.
He's like, this not is chill.
You guys had a Facebook. I saw you guys were constantly, or like, to me, it was like you guys were hardworking, or like not too hardworking, where the things, my ideology would conflict with you guys' ideology. So that's kind of like how, or why I joined in the first place too.
Yeah. I think that's another really good benefit of, obviously being a Huynh Trưởng, being in TNTT, part of this organization where it's worldwide, or at least in the United States, where it's a lot more prevalent. You can go anywhere, go any military, anything around you, you can just join them. And just be another Huynh Trưởng in that dawn.
I think Jovin is saying military and TNTT seems to go really well together.
Absolutely.
And Jung Tommy is saying the same thing in regards to how a regimented life and teaching how to work as a team is pretty much what you need to do. You need to do as a Huynh Trưởng. I see similarities in regards to the military, because we know military, and everyone knows this, that military gets paid a little bit less, right? But a lot of people join because they want to be part of an organization to support the country. They want to be part of something bigger than themselves.
Yeah.
Right. And TNTT is very similar to that aspect too, where you're literally not getting paid anything besides pizza.
I'm okay with that.
We'll feed you though.
Yeah, but you're there to be part of a bigger organization, be something bigger than yourself. So I definitely see the similarities. And the final question I want to ask is, if there was, and I bet there will be a lot, of kids coming up saying, hey, I do want to join the military. What's the first thing do I need to do? What kind of advice would you give to them?
I kind of joined in blindly, but something I did wish I did was I talked to my recruiter more. The recruiter is probably okay. He might lie to you, but
I'll say that.
he may or may not. I won't.
Sure.
I won't be like, yeah, he will lie to you, but
Sure.
he may or may not lie to you. But the recruiter will probably give you the blueprint to join the military and what you should learn before you go into boot camp. And that's just the fine line from there. It's like everything after that, he might give you like very vague information about it, but that's up for you to discover. That's your journey. Because he might not have a different. Your recruiter will probably have a different job than you, and with that, it's more of like everything else comes after boot camp. He didn't experience for you.
I gotcha. So he might give you at least the beginning outline
Right.
and maybe a general outline, but once you're in, don't be surprised that it could potentially be a lot different. I think I can see some people getting disillusioned by that because they're like, wait, that's not what he mentioned. But I guess the kids or the people joining need to understand that this is a big organization and one recruiter is not going to have the information to provide to you about everything. The same thing with civilian life too. When you're asking a recruiter for a job, what is this job like? They really don't. They can't know everything about it, right? They don't have that much specific detail.
And like you could talk to a recruiter who was like who works on planes and you could ask them about how sea life was, but they would only know like what the plane information was.
Gotcha. So they might have to ask you specifically. You might have find Huynh Trưởng who is in the Navy or who is in the Air Force who might be able to give a little more wisdom than just a recruiter if you want something more specific. That's what you're telling me.
Well, so I think so far we've had Navy in our Dawn, we've had Army. I don't think we've had Air Force yet.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Apparently that's the best one to get.
Yeah.
So, so we'll try to get it
Not
next time.
disagree.
All right, well, thanks, Tommy.
Thank you so much,
for
Tommy, for
joining us
stopping
today.
by. We appreciate it.
Yeah, very much. Thank you.